It truly felt like Caitlin Clark walked into Chicago with her power turned all the way up unapologetically. The moment she arrived, it was like the entire city shifted its attention toward her. Fans didn't just show up. They poured into the stadium as if they were attending a once-in-a-generation event. Lines wrapped around corners. Fans in custom jerseys shouted her name like she was a rock star coming home from a world tour. And the most surprising part? She didn't even need to play. Just her presence alone was enough to ignite that kind of energy. It was magnetic. Meanwhile, Angel Reese, Chicago's own rising star, the woman many assumed would own this stage, was mysteriously absent. Once again injured, yes, but the timing couldn't have been worse. The city was buzzing, and the person it was buzzing for wasn't her. And that's where the irony hit hardest. Just a few months ago, during All-Star Weekend, Angel Reese was boasting that infamous Reebok tagline, "Come to your trap, take over your trap." It was bold, it was catchy, and it was meant to solidify her as a disruptor, someone who owned every room she entered. But when Caitlin came to town, she didn't need to say anything. She didn't have to be loud. She didn't need a campaign. She just was. Her energy took over the building without a single boast. The contrast was painfully clear. Reese had the slogan, Clark had the substance. And in front of Chicago's crowd, that difference echoed louder than any marketing line. Caitlin's interaction with fans wasn't quick wave or few rush selfies. She spent nearly 20 minutes after the game standing in the arena, signing autographs, talking to fans, connecting with the people who had come just to be in her orbit. She made time, and in return, the crowd gave her their hearts. This wasn't just appreciation, it was adoration. Fans of both teams showed up in Clark's name. That's not normal. That's not something you can manufacture with a few commercials. It was clear. Caitlin Clark had become more than just a rookie sensation. She had become a cultural figure who people were willing to wait hours to see, even if she wasn't playing a single minute. And it played out like something you'd only expect to see in a movie. Caitlin, still recovering and unable to take the court, somehow managed to flip Chicago on its head with just her presence. She didn't need a uniform or a basketball. She simply showed up, and the entire environment transformed around her. The people responded to her humility, her magnetism, her reputation as someone who doesn't get caught up in the noise. Meanwhile, Angel, who was supposed to be the face of Chicago for that moment, was reduced to a ghost. No courtside sighting, no fanfare, no buzz, just a blank space where influence was supposed to live. And the silence said more than any post ever could. This right here is what it really means to walk into your trap and take over your trap. It's not about slogans. It's about showing up and owning the energy of the room without even having to raise your voice. Caitlin Clark did that. She didn't need to put anyone down. She didn't need to start controversy. She didn't need to tweet cryptic messages or stir up drama. She just arrived and the entire city responded. Meanwhile, Angel Reese was left clinging to the idea of what should have been hers. If there was ever a moment that made it clear who the public truly sees as the future of the league, it was this one. The transfer of power didn't happen with words. It happened with presence. Then came the actual game, and that, too, told its own powerful story. Caitlin didn't play a single minute. Yet the Indiana Fever looked like a team built for dominance. Kelsey Mitchell turned the court into her personal canvas, dropping a jaw-dropping 35 points and drilling 7 threes like she was shooting in her backyard. Her confidence, her control, her intensity, it was a masterclass. Aaliyah Boston was right there with her, patrolling the paint like it was her kingdom. Every board, every block, every putback sent a message. This team is bigger than one name. Indiana's bench stepped up as well, with players like Lexi Hull and Michaela Timpson bringing energy, efficiency, and fearless defense. They weren't just surviving without Caitlin. They were thriving. Statistically, Indiana dismantled Chicago in every department that mattered. They passed better, rebounded stronger, shot more efficiently, and executed like a team on a mission. What made it even more impressive was how unified they looked without their most famous player on the floor. That's rare. Most teams crumble without their leader. The Fever, They stepped up, elevated, and reminded everyone that they're not just riding Caitlin Clark's wave. They're building their own storm. And on the other side of that court, the Chicago Sky, Angel Reese's team, looked like a group still trying to figure out how to finish a sentence, let alone win a game. So when you take it all in, the fandom, the media, the energy, the actual game, there's no denying it anymore. This wasn't just a weekend in Chicago. This was a narrative shift. Caitlin Clark, sidelined by injury, still made the city hers. Her teammates showed that they're not just a supporting cast. They're a legitimate playoff threat. Meanwhile, Angel Reese continues to teeter on the edge of relevance, leaning on branding that no longer reflects the current reality. If she wants to reclaim the narrative, it's going to take more than tweets and slogans. It's going to take wins, presence, dominance. And until that happens, this trap she claimed, it's not hers anymore. It belongs to Caitlin Clark. And she didn't even have to try. It's hard to overstate just how symbolic this weekend was. Not just for Caitlin Clark, not just for the Indiana Fever, but for the entire landscape of the WNBA. What happened in Chicago was more than just a game or a fan meet and greet. It was a cultural moment. It was a statement about who moves the needle in this league. It exposed how narratives that are built on hype alone can crumble in real time when faced with real influence, real leadership, and real love from fans. Caitlin didn't have to manufacture her popularity. It's rooted in how she plays, how she carries herself, and how she connects with people. That's not something that can be copied or countered by flashy endorsements or well-edited Instagram reels. It's either real or it's not, and Chicago felt what was real. This is also where the dynamic between Caitlin and Angel starts to feel less like a rivalry and more like a reality check. The media loves pitting them against each other. Two iconic college stars turned rookies, destined to clash. But the truth is, they're walking different paths now. Caitlin is quickly becoming the face of the league, not just because of her numbers, but because of the gravitational pull she has wherever she goes. Angel, on the other hand, seems to be drifting between trying to prove something and reacting to everything around her. And that's a tough place to operate from. You can't lead from a place of insecurity. You have to believe your presence is enough. And right now, Angel's presence feels overshadowed.